And now for this, I'm going to call this out as my body text. So I'll just say body text. And it has all the properties of Arial narrow, 12 point, great. Okay, so you're not done there though. In fact, I need to call this out as title. And now you have to select what you actually want the style to be on. So I've selected the title, I'm going to give that there. Now I'll select the rest of this text and I'll call it out as body text. So now you can see that it's all now Arial narrow. Perfect. Now let's just see why we might do that. Now in the middle of all of this, I decide that I really don't like hyphenization and I don't like this kind of ragged edge on the right. So to change that, I'm just going to go into body text and I'm going to go in and change indent spacing from left justified, or left, to left justified. And let's see what that looks like. Alright, that looks really good. Now I've got it all lined up on both sides, left and right, and then a ragged end, which I'm okay with. Alright, but that's not enough. Remember, I don't like hyphenization, so I'm just going to go in there and I'm going to click that off. So now everything's changed. So everything that's connected to that style will submit to whatever you change. The worst thing you can do is go in here and decide that right there I need that to be a little bit bigger, and you just do it here, because once you do, you've broken it. You see this little plus sign. Instead of having something that is perfect and every time you change body text it all changes, now I've broken it and I've made an exception, and that exception means that this will not be updated. It'll update everything but whatever I change. So it would change the font if I change the font later, but it wouldn't change the font size. So don't do that. Alright, so let's then create subtitles. So do that. New paragraph style. Yes. Alright, I'm going to call this as subtitle. You want to be pretty systematic about your style names. Now you might look here, based on. Based on means that I can base this on one of the styles I've already created. So I'm going to, since subtitle is just a secondary level below title, I'm going to base it on title. And so it'll take on all the characteristics of title. But in this case, I want the text size to be smaller because it's not as important as title. So I'm just going to do that. And then we might look at body text real quick. Might change that font size down a bit. And see, now the one thing I haven't done is actually need to apply now subtitle to that. Alright. So now we can see some of the value. Alright, now there's other things that you can see. This looks a bit jumbled. You know, what I'm doing is taking out deletes, or deletes, hard returns. And, I can put a return between each, paragraph, or if I'm smarter than that, because I want more control. As designers, we all want more control. I'm going to go in and start editing the text, paragraph style. So I can look at indent and spacing, and you see that you have a myriad of choices. I can go space before, I can go space after. Let's just increase the space after. And this is after each paragraph, so as lines of paragraph, it doesn't change inside of the paragraph itself, it only changes afterwards. So I'm just adding a few picas. So now we can start to read in between each of these. Alright, let's imagine that, well, that subtitle really isn't, that font is not changing enough, or it's not kind of really prominent enough. Well, I might want to go in and change that. Say I decide that another color, actually, that might maybe give it some pop. So if I change that to red, or the magenta color, or maybe another color, You might want to edit that color later. So that will change that. So now it pops off the page. And better yet, I'd probably want to do that to all of my titles. So let's just make the title do the same thing, and that should then change, because there's a bit, the subtitles are based on that. It'll change them all. So you can see there, I'm starting just to kind of get the text to kind of really be clean. Now, one more thing, and I'll end this video. You might notice that my text and my lines are just really just too close. Well, again, this is the beauty of having master pages. I'm just going to go in and edit this, and I'll make this one just kind of one space higher, and this maybe 2 or 3 spaces lower. In fact, I'll make it 4, and I'll add maybe 1 more to this. Now let's go look. See, now it fits really nicely between 2. And in fact, this one, maybe I didn't really want to move that. It looked pretty good where it was. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so there you go. And as you change your mind, it's very easy to edit. And once you've edited it once, it's really, you've made global changes. So now that's pretty slick. Alright, so that's the beginning. Remember, we just really covered master pages and paragraph styles. Alright, good.